Joining us now from Boston is five-time All-Pro and two-time Super Bowl champ, Vince Wilfork. Hi, Vince. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm great. Thank you for getting up and hanging with us this morning. I got to ask how retirement is treating you, because I know 8 a.m. TV calls, probably not part of the plan when you gave up football.
It is all good. Once here and there, I can live with.
All right, we'll take it. Hey, let me start with this, Vince. You retired after last season. You're 35 years old. We've been talking a lot this week about Tom Brady. He's still going strong. He's 40. You played with Tom. You know him on and off the field. He says he's got another couple of years left in him. That could be 3, that could be 15. Who knows with this guy and his crazy diets? What do you think about Tom Brady and what he's got left in that tank?
I think Tom is going to play as long as Tom want to play. I don't, at some point your body will fail you, but I don't see it failing him within the next 3 years. Just watch him play. And one thing about quarterback is always about footwork in the pocket and being able to throw the football. And those are two things that he still has, if not gotten better with footwork as he got older, because he dedicated more time in those areas. And as an old player, you can't do what you did when you was 10 years younger. It's things that you have to, before you could just roll out of bed and not touch your toes and just go and play a game or go to practice. But now, when you can't roll out of the bed, you kind of crank yourself out of the bed. You have to stretch and you have to do these things. So it's things you have to do differently as you get older. And I think Tom is starting to do those things, and he's been doing it for a while. And that's the one thing that keeps him above everybody else, because he put in the work. He know areas that he has to attack and be better at and make sure it's on point. And, 2 of those are footwork in the pocket and his arm. And those 2 things you see on a weekly basis that he hasn't lost a step in.
Vince, you have tremendous insight, not only also in Tom Brady, but Mr. Kraft. I was very fortunate able to take a trip with him and the Kraft family to Israel this offseason. Now, you have to move over in the family because he also adopted me. I know he's adopted you. But Bill Belichick, as much as there's been put out there about Bill Belichick, most of us don't know him. And the version that we get through the media, I know the people that are very, very close to him, he seems to be very different. Give us some insight into who is Bill Belichick behind the camera that we don't see.
Well, Bill Belichick is a guy that only thing he cared about is his teammate and winning. It's pushing us to the highest level. We do things, and he practiced us like sometimes as if we were still in college. But it's just to keep us in reality and just to make us understand that everything we get, we got to work for, we got to earn, and he loves his players. I mean, guys that have been coached by Bill Belichick, some people might have different views of him, but majority of his players love him. And I think I've seen Bill from the time I was a rookie up until now. I've seen him actually transform into kind of get the understand nowadays players. Everybody know Bill is old school. I thought I thought Bill would never work with tablets and iPads. I really did, because I was the same way. I'm like, look, give me my pen and pad and give me my thick pieces of paper and let me study like that. But over time, with these guys coming out of college and they getting used to stuff like that, so over time he knew he had to change to be a better coach and understand his players. And I think he'd do a great job of understanding his players individually, what they need to be the best at their position. And that's why he's successful. That's why the New England Patriots are successful up under.
We talk about how he's successful, his method for going about that. You and the Patriots have had tremendous success against rookie quarterbacks. What does he do that's different than other coaches and has made him so successful going against rookies?
Well, I think it all starts with a mindset, to be honest with you. It's nothing magical that I can remember doing to a rookie quarterback. You watch film from him in college, just because you don't have as much footage of him in the pros. But it's a mindset. It's basically a mindset. It's going out there facing the rookie, and you don't want a rookie to beat you. Plain and simple. It's nothing more than that. And just preparing well, being alert for anything, especially if you're dealing with a quarterback that's athletic, or a quarterback with a big arm, understanding their strengths and weaknesses, and being able to attack it. So, to me, I think it's more of a mindset than anything that he can actually try to coach.
Vince, you've played with a bunch of great players all over the team, all over your teams, especially on defensive lines. You played next to Richard Seymour, but you also played next to a guy who might finish his career as one of the two best 3-4 defensive ends ever, J.J. Watt. When you're lined up next to J.J., what's different about how teams are attacking or trying to defend him than other even great players you've played with?
Well, at the end of the day, if you run away from him, he's gonna chase you down. If you run to him, you better have two. But as long as he draw two people and have that attention on him, it's going to always be somebody that he's clearing up. But to line up to a guy that basically is so dynamic in every snap or every play, and he can change a game, you got to tip your hat to him. I mean, just being able to play with him and be in practice with him and just see the work he does and stuff like that, it's no question of why he's that good, because he put the work in. I've been around a lot of good defensive linemen, and he's another one where every snap he's got to be accounted for. I mean, you scheme plays because of him, and teams of offenses are afraid of him. They're scared of him. But you got to try to find ways to attack a guy like that, because you can't run all the time away from him or all the time to him. So you got to draw up different plays to try to keep him thinking and stuff like that. But his motor never stops.
The Patriots are nearly a 2-touchdown favorite, biggest favorite of the weekend this weekend against the Texans. If this game ends with the Texans' victory, what will have had to happen?
Turnovers and just taking advantage of missed opportunities by the Patriots. Absolutely. I think the Texans have the defense that can play with them, but you have to capitalize, and you have to steal 2 or 3 possessions. You have to, and by stealing that, I mean turning over the ball, scoring on defense and special teams. You have to get a couple of possessions to turn things in your favor. So if they can do that, I think they'll be able to beat them.
All right, people talk about your 2 Super Bowl championships. Neither of those teams was the best team you were ever on. I don't care what anyone says. The best team Vince Wilfork ever played for was the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. That is the greatest football team ever put together. I looked it up. You had 22 starters, 19 drafted. You had 20 guys that didn't start who were drafted. You had 39 guys drafted. Another few guys make rosters as undrafted free agents. Practices. Just take me back to playing with the greatest college football team ever and what it was throughout that season, or just the competition within practice.
It was all about, being from Florida, Miami. I'm coming from Palm Beach. We had the whole state of Florida on lock with recruiting. There wasn't a team that can come in and take any players that we wanted down at the University of Miami. You couldn't come in the state of Florida and get those guys like that. Just being able to compete and practice every day. And we would go out and we practice as if it was games. So we would scrimmage every day. We would compete every day. I mean, if it was training, I remember getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we would have these training sessions, and we are full-fledged. I'm talking about competing left and right. It's been over, and we still out there. There's arguments. It's this. I'm stronger. I'm faster. And we always pushed each other. We always pushed each other to the max. And, you know, we love one another. We are truly family. I don't think there's any other school out there that rocked the way we rock. It was just something about being a Hurricane. And a lot of people didn't like it because we had swag and we talked a lot of crap, but we backed it up because we really didn't care about anything else but winning in the Hurricanes. And we showed that when we stepped on the field. But a lot of it came from being in state, playing against one another in high school, and then all of a sudden you're on this team together, so it's like an all-star team you're on, and we went around, you know, the nation beating up teams in college football. So, hands down, 2001, we was bad boys.
Hey, Vince, I have to say I really like your hat. I have the exact same one. Mine says kale on it, but I feel like you and I are like this, and I'm right over here. It's like the same hat.
No. Let me tell you something. Only greens that get love over here is collard greens.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that. I think we all sort of fell in love with Vince Wilfork watching your personality jump off the screen on Hard Knocks. A, what was your experience like with that? And B, besides the overalls, is that where you came up with the Kingsford barbecue idea?
No, you know, my thing is, you know, I have a 100-acre ranch in Florida, and I have pictures of them, and when I work down there, that's what I wear, my overalls. If I'm baling hay or fixing something or whatever it may be, I'm in overalls. So, you know, in Boston, I kind of didn't really get into it because the weather was just so different in Boston. I was like, you know, I had them, but I didn't ever put them on. So now being here in Texas, I say now I can really, you know, rock my overalls, and sure enough, you know, Hard Knocks was there. So I was like, okay. Well, let me give, you know, people a little taste of who I am. And, you know, when I came in with my overalls, it was like scammer action. I mean, me playing, I always try to find a way that I can get through to my teammates. Because at the end of the day, football is fun. You're supposed to have fun playing it. And my whole career, I had fun playing football. I was passionate about it. I loved it. And how Kingsford came about is they seen when I tore my Achilles, I actually built the barbecue grill, and I had you know, my wife at that time, she said, I'm going to film. I'm going to film you. And I was like, okay, whatever. So the Kingsford bag was on, and I was dancing, just listening to my music, and boom, it went crazy. So once Kingsford saw that, they was like, listen, we think you'd be perfect for us. So I was like, okay. That's how Kingsford and myself, we got involved, and the partnership couldn't be no better because everything I do, I want to be the best.
Sure.
I wanted to be the best, and having Kingsford on board, you can't be the best without working with the best, and that's Kingsford. And all these years with tailgating, I say, you know what, when I retire, the first thing I want to do is tailgate. And here I am. We're going back to Boston. We're going to tailgate, and I'm going to live it up and do something that I always wanted to do.
All right, well, you got 3 hungry mouths here. One eats kale. The other 2 will eat literally anything you make. So the next time you tailgate, we would like 3 invitations. But I ask you one last question before we let you go. This is the most serious of all of them. What is more likely, Vince? You go on Tom Brady's diet, or Tom Brady eats exclusively your cooking for a month? Which is more likely to happen?
I'll never go on his diet, I tell you that.
Thank you, Vince.
Hey, thank you, Vince. And for those who don't know it, the NFL, this guy is a treasure, a great family man, great in the community. Much respect for you, Big V.
Thanks, man.
Vince.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.